me first Dr. Alexander Kott, Chief Scientist at the Army Research Lab, and Geoff Marsh, Vice President and Analytics Leader at HitachiVantara Federal. Gentlemen, thanks both very much for joining me. Dr. Kott, I want to start with you. Tell me what you and your team are working on regarding the Internet of Things at the Army Research Lab.
So, Francis, I like to refer to Internet of Things as Internet of Battle Things because of the extremely adversarial, unusual adversarial environment in which it manifests itself for the Army. It is everything on the battlefield. It's the sensors, the actuators, the munitions, the vehicles, the weapon systems. Everything is connected and everything is to some extent intelligent, thereby becoming the Internet of Battle Things. And humans are part, in fact, of that Internet. It is enormously complex world, and it is emerging right now. It's not something we want to happen or don't want to happen. It's happening. And so things we need to do, and we are doing at the Army Research Laboratory, is looking at several major challenges. One of them is to make sure that the Internet of Battle Things can self-adapt, self-form, self-manage in a way, because when the bullets are flying and the artillery shells are exploding, you don't call the system administrator asking, hey, something is not working, could you please come over and fix it? We are looking at the ways the Internet of Battle Things can self-defend, self-repair, and it's also provide us with humans, soldiers, with information that makes sense in spite of the fact that it's a huge amount of information, very confusing information, potentially deceptive information. And of course it needs to learn as it does all this, because everything changes all the time, and if you don't learn, it doesn't work.
I want to come back to the evolution of that landscape if we have time, but Geoff, tell me what the cutting edge of the Internet of Things looks like, not just in a military context, but in a civilian government agency or even in the private sector. What kind of the limit is today, and what you think the limit is 2-5 years out from now?
Well, I think one of the interesting points is how the IoT thought space has changed so dramatically in the last couple of years. For years, when this was first starting being discussed, it was thought of as one blanket platform or one package that's going to make you IoT ready, or be able to complete all of your IoT needs. Really, the way it's evolved and the way things are going now is that it's no longer just that one platform. It's multiple pieces that come together to allow you to create the best outcome or most successful mission possible. So I think that's really the most cutting edge. To that point, there's some fantastic things that are going on from edge analytics and things like that. But I think that different thought space and the way things are being built now and thought of and architected together, that's really what's cutting edge now.
Dr. Kott, you're nodding as he's talking about that. It sounds, though, like his strategy is similar to what you're doing, trying to think about this in a number of different directions toward mission solution, and not just thinking, oh, the Internet of Things is neat, what can we do in it?
Absolutely. The Internet of Battle Things is not a small element of what we are starting to see in the battlefield. It is a key terrain on which the battle unfolds, and so that's one of the key places where the mission either succeeds or fails. And a key challenge is, how do you command that mission? How do you execute that mission? How do you make decisions within that mission in face of this incredible complexity across what the Army calls multi-domain battle, that combines physical and cyber spaces together in a very, very tight way. So how do you command an army of intelligent things? We need to start to realize that we humans are essentially living in this new society of intelligent creatures, and that we depend on them to a very large extent. and we have to coexist with them. And we're not very good about coexisting even with our own fellow humans. How are we supposed to? That's a lot of learning for us to do.
Geoff, what's the learning process like, and what's this intersection that you see between what Dr. Kott is talking about? All of these things are smart because they have data, and they feed us information that we can use to make decisions. What's the nexus of that? Data analytics, understanding the information that's coming, and all of the things, whether it's the hardware or the software processes that are gathering all that information.
And you raise a good point. And the one thing that I've been trying to help relax the misnomer, or again, change people's thinking, is really IoT is data analytics, or it is analytics. It's a data problem. It might be substantially more complex than we're used to. That I will definitely agree with, but it's still a data problem. Data's created somewhere, you need to get it to somewhere, and that's a decision in itself. Then you need to be able to centralize it, or maybe not centralize it. You need to be able to get that data in front of people that can make intelligent decisions. Like Dr. Kott has said, that data is created. There's so much data created at that edge. Does it need to come into a forward operating base? Can it be made analytically, an analytical stream real time to get it to the people that are making decisions on the ground real time? Or should it come in? How does it come in? When does it come in? Things like that, right? So really think of IoT as an analytics or data problem. It's just more complex. And it gives us an avenue to get at that data. So I would say they're one and the same.
Dr. Kott, this evolution of IoT devices and data that you and your colleagues are seeing inside the Army, there's a sense, a perception that I have detected that it's kind of gone from 0 to 60 in about 2 minutes, where a short time ago you weren't collecting a lot of information, you didn't have a lot of sensors out there, and now they're all stuck to everything from the front line of the battlefield to all the way back into logistics to all the way in the back of the back office. Is that a fair perception, do you think?
I think it's been evolving. It was a long trajectory of technological evolution. But I think the perception of it is correct in the sense that now we're starting to see it. It's really exploding. It's in your face now. And yes, in that sense, it's correct.
What do you, we have about a minute left, Geoff. What do you do with that when you're discovering, as they're discovering in the Army, this is in your face, we have this information, we have this ability to make decisions in a way we haven't done before, but maybe the change management piece we haven't nailed down yet. What's advice piece 1, 2, and 3 in that respect?
I guess from an advice perspective is, yes, build your models. Everybody's building models, algorithms, things like that, but don't be married to them, right? Manage your models almost like you'd manage children or people. Things change, the mission changes, the data changes, the day changes, right? Be able to look at the challenger models, look at the champion models, and be able to use them effectively for what you need at the time, right? Things are going to change, it's inevitable. What you need is going to change, whether that's public or private sector, but be intelligent in the fact that you're willing to adapt with it, with the data as it comes in.
Geoff Marsh, Dr. Kott, thanks both very much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Entrepreneurial Government is brought to you in part by HitachiVantara Federal, your end-to-end data services provider. Learn more at HitachiVantaraFederal.com.